a new smartphone brand under Xiaomi plans to shake the market with its Poco F1. It's basically a flagship-grade smartphone on paper, but what really made people excited was its very aggressive pricing. F1 comes in 3 colors: graphite black, steel blue, and rosso red. There's also an armored edition with Kevlar aramid fiber, but for this hands-on we got the steel blue model. One of the first things we noticed about F1 is its large screen, and it definitely is large at 6.18 inches. This screen is at Full HD Plus or has a PPI equal to 403. It has an 18.7:9 aspect ratio with a rather thick notch on top. The display itself is nice as it is sharp with good viewing angles and accurate colors. However, it's prone to glare, but thankfully, the bright screen was able to keep things viewable. It uses Corning Gorilla Glass for screen protection, so it should be able to withstand minor scratches, bumps, and maybe even a few tumbles. Going back to the notch, it houses a 20-megapixel front camera, earpiece, proximity sensor, infrared lens, and infrared lighting. Down below the center of the phone's chin is a notifications LED. Found on the left side of the device are the volume and power lock buttons. They're plastic but firm, clicky, and easy to reach. Up top are the 3.5mm audio port and the secondary microphone, while down below are the loudspeaker, main microphone, and the USB Type-C port. Flip it on its back and you will see the dual rear cameras, fingerprint scanner, and the LED flash. Quality-wise, the Poco F1 feels far from the premium glass and metal we're accustomed to, but looks and feels really good for something that is made of plastic. The hard-coated polycarbonate unibody is solid as it doesn't creak when squeezed or sound hollow when tapped. The finish is also able to resist fingerprints and smudges quite well. At 182 grams, the phone is already quite hefty, so we started to appreciate the use of polycarbonate to keep the weight in check. It's tall and a bit wide, so navigation of the UI often required us to use both hands. When it comes to imaging, the Poco F1 sports a 12-megapixel main rear shooter with a Sony IMX363 sensor, which is the same sensor found on the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2S. The secondary camera, on the other hand, is handled by a 5-megapixel Samsung sensor. For selfies, it has a 20-megapixel camera. The images produced are good, as they're sharp with punchy colors and great dynamic range. Low-light performance is also good and was able to preserve details while keeping the noise down. We can attribute the performance to the camera's built-in AI capabilities. Running the software is MIUI for Poco based on Android 8.1 Oreo, which is basically a slightly customized version of Xiaomi's MIUI. It has multiple home screens, but also has an app drawer that can be brought out by swiping up. The apps are prearranged by category, but with the option of adding our own tabs. Speaking of apps, we have the usual Google apps, as well as pre-installed ones from Microsoft, Facebook, and Lazada. Overall, we're getting 52.6 gigabytes of usable space out of the 64 gigabytes. Other features include the ability to hide the notch, second space, which allows the operation of a secondary home screen, button and gesture navigation, dual apps, security app, and app lock. Powering the Poco F1 is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, Adreno 630 GPU, 6GB or 8GB of RAM, and a 4000 mAh battery with Quick Charge 3.0. As expected, performance is great and it was able to keep things running smoothly. The fingerprint scanner and face unlock features are very fast and responsive. Even games like NBA 2K18 are easily playable in high settings. When it comes to thermals, there's a slight warming felt beside the cameras when running games and benchmarking apps, but it's very minimal, so we can say that the liquid cooling technology is doing its job. Check out some of our initial benchmark scores.